amazing weekend. I've been so busy this weekend. I booked a couple of speak spots to speak in, and maybe I'll be in your town soon. I'll let you know. I just love speaking, and I just wanted to share that with you guys. I haven't been traveling this week, but some more is on the way. Trust and believe me. And of course, when it happens, I'll share it on some of my reels with you all, some of my shorts with you all, depending on where you follow me. You guys know you can follow me on different platforms, YouTube, TikTok, here on Facebook, all of those platforms. Anyway, today we're going to be talking about something so important, because a lot of times we shrink ourselves. Have you ever found yourself shrinking yourself or pretending to be someone that you know is not in alignment with who you are, who you deeply feel yourself to be, or who you want to be, Because in life, we have to, or what we feel as though we have to become something else in order to be accepted. Hello, Carter. I am so glad you joined me today. So shout out to the first person to join the live. Hello, Carter. Thank you for supporting me. I am so glad you are here. And don't forget to follow me. I am here every Saturday. I'm sorry, every Sunday at exactly 7:30 on the dot. Every once in a while I might be a little late, but not really, okay? Like today I was a little early, okay? My mom always told me that it's better to be early than late. But yeah, we're talking about that mask that we wear. Hey, Glenn, how are you guys? And don't forget you guys have already hit, y'all show on y'all stuff today. You all are so on your stuff today. I just love you guys. So yes, if you could, share this live with a friend. Tell someone today Coach Gwendolyn is on today. And hopefully what we're going to be talking about today is going to be something that they might need. So, we are talking about that thing that makes us feel small, how we shrink ourselves to please other people. And baby, let me tell you all right off the bat, you don't deserve to play small to nobody. You understand me? You don't deserve to play small to anybody. And if you're doing that right now, today is your sign to stop. Have you ever looked in the mirror and realized you don't even know who you are? Maybe because you spent so much time becoming who everyone else wanted you to be. Has that ever happened to you? Somewhere along the way, many of us learn how to survive by hiding pieces of ourselves. And I'm guilty of that. I remember, a while back when I was younger, not too much younger, but, in my 20s, I remember hiding who I was to please other people. I remember showing up for different job positions and maybe fixing my hair different, wearing a wig so that my natural hair wouldn't show, because I had beautiful natural hair, but I thought society wanted something long, straight, and sometimes blonde, believe it or not. I was completely lost as to who my true, authentic identity was. There was so many times I pretended to talk a certain way or walk a certain way or dress a certain way. And matter of fact, when I first started my podcast, not the Win-Win with Gwen podcast, some of you may remember I had a podcast years ago, maybe 10, 15 years ago, and it was called Day Wednesday, and I would say welcome to Hump Day Wednesday, and it was an amazing thing. But on there I dressed different, and I'll tell you why I did that. I did that because my family always said, Gwen, tone down the makeup. Gwen, tone down the accessories. Gwen, tone down your clothes. You're showing too much of yourself. But you know what? That wasn't the authentic me, and that's what I want people to understand. Who you are, how you express yourself, what makes you happy does not have anything to do with anybody. If you're happy in your own skin, if you're happy showing yourself in certain ways, what feels good to you as an artist, as a person, then you should show up as who you are. And we always get lost a lot of times because when we're kids, people try to put us in boxes. You gotta tone down if you're loud. You gotta not be so smart because you look like a nerd. It's like you can't be yourself. My mother used to always tell me when we went places, she would say, honey, this was like as early as age 7, she would remind me of my mouth. We would go into places, and I'm the type of person, by the way, guys, I'm a Gemini. I don't know if that has anything to do with my personality. I am a Gemini. I proudly claim ADHD. I have that. And so maybe my personality was because of those situations. And not only that, I was a person who didn't believe in lying. Honey, I would tell you the truth. But you know what? A lot of people didn't want to hear the truth. So to my mother, that was an embarrassment. So before I would go into certain places with her, she would always tell me, now, Gwen, when you get into this building, I want you to sit down, I want you to be quiet, and don't you say a word because you know how you are. That's what she would tell me. So I, as a child, began to quieten myself. I started to dress different, act different. And again, as I grew older, I held on to all of those ways, but there was something inside of me that was just begging to get out. And that's the thing. I can be myself. You can be yourself. And you can be many different things. I used to work in a Fortune 500 business. I used to work, I was a manager at State Farm. I know how to act when I'm at work. I know how to act when I'm outside of work. I know how to act when I'm in front of my family. I know how to act when I'm in front of friends. And that way should be the same way across the board. You shouldn't have to pretend to be someone or something that you're not to please other people, because that could really be exhausting. And I don't know who on here is pretending to be something other than themselves. Honey, you can't please all the people all of the time. So I'm going to tell you, to be honest with you, you might as well please you. You have one life. One life, honey. And it's yours. It doesn't belong to John. It doesn't belong to Lisa. It doesn't belong to Jaleesa. It doesn't belong to Raymond. It doesn't belong to anybody but you. And when you can't be authentically who you are, that's a problem. See, I'm a coach. I'm a transformational coach. I am an inspirational speaker. And you know what? I'm different. A lot of people, when I first started out, they wanted me to, and I'm going to be honest, they wanted me to only inspire and coach women. Women meaning female, women meaning adults. That's not who I am, honey. I am out here with a purpose, and my purpose is to inspire, to help individuals heal, to help individuals break through glass ceilings. You understand me? And I don't care if they're male. I don't care if they're female. I don't care if they're young, middle-aged, or old. Baby, everybody deserves to live the life that they would love to live. And if that's what I can help them to do, then I'm not looking at your age. I'm not looking at your race. I'm not looking at your gender. I'm not looking at how much moolah you got, baby. You understand me? Your brain ain't got nothing to do with my heart. I'm going to show up as I am. And that's what I want you to do today, because you cannot get to your purpose. Do you understand me? You cannot get to your purpose until you do away with all of that rigmarole that everybody has placed on you. That you got to be quiet. You got to act a certain way. I was talking to a friend the other day. We're going to get back to the lesson, but I just got to let y'all know. I was talking to a friend the other day, and I went to this high society dinner. And I get it. They tell you which fork to use. They tell you to drink tea with no sugar. This, and that. All these rules, honey. When I got there, we had chicken. Not a drumstick, but I think it was a chicken thigh. I think it was a thigh. Yeah, it was a thigh. Have you ever ate a piece of chicken with bones through it and used a knife? So I'm sitting at this high society function, and I get it. You all want me to do as you do when in Rome. How does that little saying go? Somebody down here might know it. Do as the Romans do. You know the little saying. I don't know. I can't keep up with that. But they wanted me to behave in a manner in which wasn't who I am. And I have class, do not get me wrong. But at the same time, I don't have class. And the part of me that don't have class, it's okay too. See, I grew up in a house of soul food. You understand? We ate chicken, chitlins, cornbread, collard greens. And baby, let me tell you something about some collard greens and cornbread. We would mush that cornbread up into those collard greens, and then we would put that straight to our mouths without a fork or a spoon. And I still do that when I eat collard greens and cornbread. Even though I'm vegan, I eat vegan cornbread and I eat collard greens with no meat. But, well, I'm pescatarian. Don't let no lies get out of me. I'm pescatarian, not vegan, by the way. So, yes, I eat that way. Now, I know I can't eat that way everywhere, but why not? So let me tell you what happened. So I'm sitting here with the mayor of Alabama. I'm sitting at the table with the finest, the elite, so they call themselves. And my friend who brought me to this dinner, we're sitting at the table, and I taste my tea, and I'm like, ooh, this is bitter. Let me stop for a minute. I'm going to stop at the tea, and then we're going to get back. I want to say hello to everybody. Glenn, you're doing good. That is so great. And hey, Carter, thank you guys for coming and joining me. So, yeah, let me get back to this tea. So I drink this tea, and it's beautiful. It's in a nice little wine glass, and it's shimmery, and it's shiny. It's all clear. There's no fingerprint on it, nothing. Like, it's crispy, clean, beautiful glass. Really fine fine, whatever they call it, wine glasses. You can tell it's made out of crystal or some stuff. Anyway, so I'm drinking that. And when I drink it, it's bitter. And I look around the room and I see people enjoying this tea. Yeah, food you pretend to like. Yeah, okay. So anyway, clicking on these things. I don't even know what this is like. It asked me something about, I don't want that on there. How do I get rid of that? I'm going to trash that. I don't want to know about what food you pretend to like. But anyway, because this here's about not pretending. So we're not going to talk about pretending food. They wanted me to ask you guys a question, a Q&A, as they say, of what foods do you pretend to like. But today's live is about stopping the pretending, taking off the mask. So we're not going to worry about that. I don't know if you guys saw that question or not, but I put it in the trash. So yes, I'm drinking this tea, and I'm looking around the room, and everybody pretends that this tea is good. They pretend they're drinking water. And then not only that, I have this chicken on my plate, honey. And I know that you cannot cut through that particular piece of chicken because the meat is in between the bone. You get me? The meat is in between the bone. So that, everybody's sitting there cutting this chicken with their knife. You get me? And I'm looking around, I'm like, wait a minute, I'm hungry. So I tried it. I'm cutting the chicken with the knife, and these bones are literally in the way, and I'm not supposed to use my hands. So I look around the room and I think, are we all sheep? Are we all sheep? And I think, do we eat like this at home, or is this a game we're playing? Is this a society game we're playing? And baby, one thing about Coach Gwendolyn is I'm not going to keep playing games, honey. I'm going to live my life according to the way I want to live it. Now, I'm not going to break rules and hurt people. I'm not going to do that. But the simple things like how I want to eat my chicken, you got to ask yourself, what's wrong with eating your food the way you want to in public? What makes them right versus me wrong? That's what you got to start asking yourself, because it starts when you're a kid. People telling you what you can and what you cannot do, what you should be and what you shouldn't be. And you hear so much of that you forget how amazing you are. And you are amazing. You are amazing. Maybe you wanted to draw when you was younger. Maybe you wanted to draw when you became older. And someone looked at your drawing and said, "Oh, that's ugly. Don't waste your time, honey, to keep your day job." I've heard that so many times when I got older, keep your day job. That's the most depressing thing you ever want to hear. Somebody tell you to keep your day job when you have a dream. People tell people keep your day job when you wear a mask, when you pretend to be someone you're not. Your day job is not your purpose. Your day job is not sometimes what God has planned for you. It could be and it can't be. But the thing for you is to find out if it is or if it's not. You just don't let people sell you whatever, tell you whatever, and make you whatever they want you to be. God gave you a life for you to live, and it has nothing to do with who they are. God gave them purpose, God gave them breath, God gave them life. And that's nothing to do with you. You have to find out who you are and what your purpose is, because, baby, being fake takes a lot of work. So if you got to do the work, you might as well do the work on finding out who you are, because you're amazing. And I want to see more of who you are. I want to experience you from the good to the bad. I want to see you go from unhealed to healed. I want to see you go from small to big. I want to see your light go from dim to bright. I want to see you become something amazing, something that bursts through glass ceilings. There's no ceiling above who you are. You have the ability to become whatever you are, no matter what has happened to you in this lifetime. And that's why I'm here. Guys, by the way, check out my book, Get Beat to Get Better, on Amazon. That book is going to help you to identify who you are, what you want in life, and help you to find your purpose. So many people are out here not even understanding what their purpose is. But you deserve to find your purpose, and you heard it from me, Coach Gwendolyn, right here today, guys. Don't forget to hit that like, okay? And let me see who's on here. Okay, I'm going to say hello to T. You're new. T, you know what I'm going to do to you? I'm going to blow you 10 kisses of appreciation. I had to speed them up because we got to get going, but you deserve that and so much more. And don't forget to follow, and don't forget to get my book on Amazon called Get Beat, to get better. And that part of that word or that title, that's beat, that's an acronym that stands for belief, expectations, affirmations, and tenacity. And I think Glenn might have already gotten his, because last week he said he was going to order his. But no rush, Glenn. You do it when you can, baby. But when you can do it, understand that was one of your better moves in life, baby. Make sure you get that book. I love you guys. Now let's get back to talking about what we're talking about. So somewhere along the line, many of us learned how to survive by hiding pieces of ourselves. We learned how to smile when we were hurting. Have you ever smiled when you were hurting? I have. I have. I remember myself hurting so bad. And people say, baby, how you doing? I go, oh, I'm doing fine. I'm doing good. And in the inside, I'm not doing so good. I'm tore up in the inside. I lied when I was going through a breakup. I pretended that I was okay. I lied when my mama passed away. I pretended I was okay. I lied when I flunked a course in college. I pretended I was all right. I pretended I was okay when I got a divorce. Baby, I was the queen of pretending. I was the queen of pretending. I pretended so hard, so good, that sometimes I tricked myself to believe that I was okay when I wasn't. And baby, it ain't nothing like pretending you're okay when you're not, because you know what? You can pretend all you want to. You can trick them. You can trick you. But what you can't trick is the medical reports. High blood pressure don't care how good you can lie. God don't care how good you can lie. The truth is the truth when the truth is the truth, baby. And you got to stop pretending to be something you're not. When you said, say you said. When you mad, say you mad. When you happy, say you happy. When you broke, say you broke. Because if you don't say you broke when you broke, can't nobody help you come back up. You're going to miss your blessings pretending to be something you're not. Let me say that again. You're going to miss your blessings when you pretend to be something that you're not. Show up as you are, baby, and stop pretending to be the strong one. Stop pretending to be the healed one, baby, because you can't heal what you can't admit. Do y'all hear me? You can't heal what you can't admit. What somebody did to you, you are now in a position where you can speak up and speak to a person who's done something to you and go on with your life through forgiveness. Ain't nothing wrong with forgiveness, baby. I didn't tell you to forgive and forget. I'm telling you to remember, but to forgive, so that you can go ahead and be the authentic you and live within your purpose. Because all of that you hold on to holds you back from becoming the person that you deserve to be, the person that you see yourself to be. Do you understand me? Today, I'm on here to tell you guys, let it go. Show up as who you are, no matter who likes it, baby, because some gonna like you and some not. But what's important is that you like you. Do you like you? Type in no comments if you love you. I'm going to go past like, do you love you? Type I love me in them comments, baby. I love you. I do. Hey, Guy Store, how are you doing? I'm so sad to hear that. I'm so sad to hear that. Guy Store said their father passed away. And let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you something that's amazing. When my mama passed away, and I never felt this before, I felt like one of my limbs was missing, like something on me had disappeared, and I couldn't name what it was, like my arm wasn't there, or my leg wasn't there. We're so connected to our parents that when they pass, we literally feel them. I don't know if anybody ever expressed that, and I don't know if anybody felt that way, but I felt that. And let me tell you what happened. People used to always say I look like my mom. My mom was a beautiful woman, by the way, inside and out. But I never saw myself looking like my mom. And when my mom passed away, I passed by a mirror in her kitchen and I looked at it and I said, oh my God, I see my mom. I see my mom in me. I began to hear her, all of her lessons coming out of me. And that's why I'm an inspirational speaker, a motivational speaker, a coach, a vision board workshop, I do vision board workshops. You know, my company is Minds Above Matters. I'm the CEO of that. I'm an author. I am all of that because of how she raised me. And my father gets credit too, baby. Because let me tell you something. I couldn't be me without my father, the good and the bad. But let me get back to my mom, okay? Because I always got to give a man credit. Because too many men don't get credit, baby. But let me tell you something. You want to hear some credit of a man, you're going to hear it from Coach Gwen. I love me some men. I love me some women. I love me some people. So yes, let's get back to my mama. So I saw myself in the mirror. I really did. I saw my mom. I felt her absence on my body. Like when she passed away, something in me, hurt, but something outside of me was missing. Okay? And I couldn't explain it, but I'm trying to explain it now. But let me tell you what was beautiful about that. God was beautiful. You want me to tell you what's beautiful about God? God gives us dreams. And when I need my mama, she comes to life in my dreams. And I don't know if you saw your father in your dreams yet, but when you do, it is going to feel so amazing. And you take that and you love that and you thank God and you have gratitude because God has built us in a way where we can literally connect back with the people who supposedly have left this planet. They enter into our minds just as vividly as when they were physically here. And my mom shows up in my dreams. And I don't question those dreams. I take those dreams and look at them as though she's still living, that she still exists, that she's still available to give me what I need when I have a need. And another thing that showed up in my life when my mother passed away was a cardinal. Every single step of this journey that I'm on, even this live, before I started doing these lives, and I was timid, and I was afraid, and I was hesitant, and I was fearful, and I was saying, hey, is this something I need to do? Because this is hard. You know, we want to run away from the hard things, but let me tell you what happens. Every time I feel that way, a cardinal shows up in my life. Let me tell you why I say that. Because when my mother passed away, a cardinal sat on my mom's porch. On the top of, we had like this little fence that was attached to her porch, and this little wooden thing that held the wood together. I can't explain what that was, but nevertheless, long story short, the little cardinal sat there on that. Everybody walked in that house past that cardinal, and I'm sitting in my car, okay? I'm sitting in the car, and I'm feeling sad, even though I'm not crying. I'm feeling sad, but I'm paying attention to everything around me, and everything is going in slow motion. I see people looking back at me. I see people sad for me. I see people wave at me. And I'm sitting in that car and I'm thinking, nobody feels what I'm feeling. This ain't your mama that passed away. This is my mother. This is my mother. And I'm feeling anger. I'm feeling so many different emotions. I see people go in the house and get a plate to eat. I see people walk back out drinking. I see people smoking weed. I see people celebrating. And I get it. But I don't get it. And while everything around me is moving in slow motion, there's this one cardinal. And it's sitting there. Usually birds fly away when people come by them or near them. This cardinal sat there, staring me down, eye to eye. And that was the beginning of me feeling that cardinal's energy. And before my mother passed away, she was the one who told me that I had a purpose in life, and it was to talk to millions. Now, my mama didn't just say millions, she said billions of people. She said, you're going to inspire people by the billions, baby. And I never spoke on stage. I never held a mic in my hand. None of that. And I didn't know where my mom got that from, you know. And I was like, okay. But my mama was a wise woman. And baby, sometimes God speaks through people who are enemies, frenemies, and loved ones. God speaks to anything to get to you, even cardinals. So yeah, hey guys, so hey here, Latia, how are you doing? And Latia says hello to everyone. But yeah, God speaks to us through so many different things. You know, when God wants to get to you, God will go through whatever. He or she will go through anything. Okay, God will get to you. You better believe that. So that cardinal appears in my life now on my journey to speak to you. If I ever have a bad day where I don't think I can come on this live, I could walk out that door and a cardinal will show up. I could watch television and a cardinal will appear on that television. I could be looking at my laptop and a cardinal will come. I could look at TikTok or Facebook or YouTube and a cardinal will appear. It always appears when I need to know answers. So yeah, I think losing my mother and being a person who really has strong spirituality, and I meditate and I pray and all that, God will send you so many signs that your Father still matters, that your Father is still alive within you. It doesn't have to be the physical outside of you, but baby, your Father is within you. Do you understand that? Energy never dies, baby, and nothing God creates goes away. I just want you to know that. So you may physically have, you may have been mentally taught that your Father is no longer with you, but I'm going to tell you right now, the only way that's true is if you believe that, baby. Dream. Not just dream of what you want to be in life, but dream a special dream when the time comes and you will see your Father. You will see your Father. Pay attention to your environment. Pay attention to the signs that God sends you, because God will show you through other forms that your Father still lives. Baby, energy never dies. God don't create nothing and let it go away. Everything and anything that God creates will exist forever and ever. Amen. Now let's get back to this. I hope that helps you, baby. I can't wait till you have your first dream, if you haven't already had it, baby. They don't come all the time, but when they do, baby, I'm so happy to see my mama visit me within my mind. Yes. So let's go. So yes, some of us along the way, many of us learn how to survive by hiding pieces of ourselves. We learn how to smile when we are hurting. We learn how to say yes when our hearts were screaming no. You ever wanted to say no, but you said yes to something you wanted to say no to just to please someone? Guys, hit that like and hit them hearts. Guys, I don't see them hearts. There they go. I do see them hearts. I need to pay attention. Yeah, I've been in situations. Have you been in a situation where you said yes when you needed to say no? And after you said yes, the whole day, the whole week, the whole month, that haunted you? It didn't align with who you were. It didn't feel good. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about today. We've got to stop saying yes when we mean no. We've got to take care of ourselves, even in the event that someone say that's selfish. I'd rather be selfish than to be unfair to the one who means the most to me, which is self. Honey, I take being selfish sometimes as a compliment, depending on what the situation is. Sometimes when people call you selfish, they're only calling you selfish because they are. Be mindful. Be careful of the person that calls you selfish, because, honey, that person who calls you selfish is only trying to intimidate you so that you can say yes when you should say no. Don't let people intimidate you, baby. Be yourself. Take care of yourself. Do what's right for you. You got one life to live, baby. God gave your life to you, not to someone else's. Your life should never be in the hands of someone else. This is your life. So yes, we say yes when we should say no. We learn how to shrink ourselves so other people won't feel uncomfortable. But today I want to remind you of something very powerful. You were never created to live a smaller version of yourself, sweetheart. You were never created to live a smaller version of yourself, baby. Stop shrinking for people. I'm gonna scream at you right now because I like to be dramatic. I'm about to scream at y'all. Stop shrinking yourself for other people. Do you hear me? Stop shrinking yourself for other people. You're too amazing to do that. Now I'm gonna calm down. But sometimes I just want to be heard. Sometimes I just want to be heard. Stop shrinking yourself for other people. You deserve better than that. And I understand you grew up where you were taught to do that. But you're older now. My mama always said, when you know better, you do better, baby. If you ain't know better, you know better now. That's what these lives are all about that I do. They're about letting you know better so you can do better. Because sometimes we have no clue of what we could do. We have no clue of how we could grow. We have no clue of how to become. We have no clue of how to heal. But it's places like this that allow you to be yourself, that allow you to express where you've been and where you're going. There's no shame. There's no judgment in this area of this life. When you join Coach Gwendolyn, baby, be who you are until you become who you were meant to be. Meet you where you are and understand the things that have happened to you do not define who you are. They do not define who you will become. Be authentic. You understand that? People tried to tell me to be someone else when I was doing the Win-Win with Gwen podcast. They told me how to dress, how to speak, how to act. They wanted me to perform. Baby, I'm not a performer. I'm me. And when I began to be me with the slow voice, because honey, sometimes you just got to be who you are. My life changed when I became who I am, the character of which I was born to be. You understand me? Some days I'm soft, some days I'm loud, some days I'm sensual, some days I'm highly intelligent. There's so many parts of who I am authentically. Some days I'm a grandmother and I'm rocking the little babies and feeding them. Some days I'm a mother and I'm talking to my grown children, my adult men children, my adult female children, and I'm telling them, I'm laying it down on the line. You can't do that. You go in and you hold your head up and you let them know who you are. And then some days I'm talking to the little kids and I'm going, you're so cute. Aw, how old are you, sweetheart? Well, tell your mommy I said hi. And all of that is who I am. And that's what I'm telling you. Stop making people put you in boxes. Be who you are. Every portion of who you are. And there's so many beautiful parts of who you are. Some of you can sing. Some of you can dance. Some of you can sing and dance. Me, myself, I can sing off key. And I do that when I want to. I can dance off beat, and I do that when I want to. My dance don't have to be like yours. My song don't have to sound like yours. It makes me authentically me when I sing off key. It makes me authentically me when I dance off beat. And let me tell you, I'm the first one to sing in a crowd and dance in a crowd, regardless of how I dance, regardless of how I sing, because it makes me happy. And it's who I am. And people laugh, and I laugh with them. There used to be a time when I would dance, and I would stop because somebody would say, girl, you can't dance. You have two left feet. Or, sorry to say, I hate to say this, they tell me I dance like a Caucasian woman. I have no rhythm. And ain't nothing wrong with that, baby. If that's the rhythm I was born with, that's the rhythm I'm going to dance to. Does that make sense? Stop hiding who you are. You got one life to live. Be you. And for those who don't like it, let them walk away. But you stand tall on 10 toes where you are. Does that make sense? You may not look good to everybody, baby, but for the ones who see you in the eye of beauty, that's the people who you need to allow to see you beautifully. It doesn't matter if everybody doesn't. No, everybody's not going to ever think you're beautiful. But I will tell you this, God don't make mistakes, baby. And the first person you need to have believe that you're beautiful is you, inside and out. That's where it starts. You ever seen a person that to you didn't look good, but you look to somebody, you go, girl, oh man, they think they cute, don't they? They ain't cute. Or people get mad at you and say, I don't like her. Or I don't like him because he think he handsome. I don't like her because she thinks she cute. And that's the craziest thing. Think about it. You don't like somebody because they think they're pretty. You don't like somebody because they think they're pretty. Would you prefer them not to think that they are pretty? Would you prefer that? Now that's the crazy thing. You should be going, they don't think they're pretty. That would be the shocker. So, I learned to stop not liking people or having people come around me that say things like that. I'm like, what's wrong with a person thinking they're beautiful? You ever thought about that? Have you ever said that to somebody, looked at a friend and said, oh, girl, oh, man, they think they look good or they think they're pretty. What's wrong with that? How does society even confuse your mind to think that person should walk around feeling ugly? That's broken. That's unhealed. That's damaged. You should know you're beautiful, flaws and all, honey. And I always show people, you see this big scar on my face? Who cares about that scar? I'm authentically beautiful because I said I am. I feel that way. I believe that. And God don't make mistakes. No matter what's going on in this face of mine, I think I'm beautiful. And you should too because you are. I think I'm brilliant. I think I'm smart. I think I'm creative. And so are you. It may look different with you than it does with me. But at the end of the day, God don't make mistakes, baby. Stop doubting who you are. No matter who told you that you was nothing. No matter who told you that you shine too bright. No matter who told you too short. No matter who told you too tall. Baby, throw all that away. Who are you? Who do you want to be? How do you see yourself? That's what I want you to work on. Because you can't fix what you can't name. It's okay to understand that your mind thinks that you're not smart. It's okay to say that. to recognize that so that you can get to work and change that. And that's what I want you to do. I want you to see yourself for who you are today, meet yourself where you are, and then I want you to go to work, baby, because you got to do the work. Don't let anybody tell you that you ain't got to do the work, because staying small takes work just as becoming something amazing. They both take work, so why not become something amazing? Why not see yourself as something amazing? You understand? So let's keep going. So today I want to remind you of something powerful. And I think I might have said that already. You were never created to live a life, to live a smaller version of yourself. So let's talk about how to stop shrinking yourself, or why we stop shrinking ourselves. Why do people shrink themselves? Many people learn early in life that being fully themselves can come with consequences. That's one of the big reasons why people will not be who they need to be, or who they choose to be, or who they want to be. Maybe they were criticized. Maybe they were rejected. Have you ever been criticized or rejected? Maybe they were told they were too sensitive, too loud, too emotional, too ambitious, too different. You ever heard someone tell you that, oh, they different? There's nothing wrong with being different. Because guess what? Are you like me? No. So where did becoming different become a problem? To the point where someone would tell you that you were different, and then you would live your life accordingly by shrinking yourself. Baby, you're different. At the same time, we're similar, but you're different. See, similar doesn't mean alike. You understand that? So even when people say we're similar, that still doesn't mean alike. That means you're different. It's okay to be different. So when people say, she act different, he different, stop taking that to mean something bad, honey. It's okay to be different. That makes sense? I'm glad clothes are different, because if they were all the same, I would have all black on right now. I'm glad there's a pop of red. I'm glad that there's color. I'm glad that gold exists. I'm glad that something, somewhere, somebody decided to mix colors and create something different. I'm glad that God created something different, because when I walk down the street and I see you, I see beauty. And when I see you, I see beauty. And when I see you, I see beauty. And when I see you here, Latia, I see beauty. And when I see you guys store, I see beauty. And when I see you, Glenn, I see beauty. And when I see any of y'all, I see beauty. And I'm glad that I can look out into the world and see so many different people with so many different personalities, with so many different talents. That's beautiful. And I wouldn't dare want you to shrink anything about you, because seeing the beauty in all of you is like seeing a garden full of different flowers and just smiling. So you guys make me smile because you're different. I don't want you to try to be someone else. Embrace who you are. So maybe they were told they were sensitive, too loud, too emotional, too ambitious, or too different. And over time, they began to edit themselves. That's where we began to change, you know. When I was in high school, I remember having this figure, and I'm not trying to brag or boast, but I used to have this figure like this, and it was before the BBLs, by the way. And so because people would stare at me, talk to me rudely, just horrible, you know. And sometimes it was sweet, it was nice flirtations, but sometimes it was ridiculous and disrespectful. So I had started to wear big baggy clothing. That was me changing myself. I used to get teased and I was told that I talk too proper. So I started trying not to talk proper. I really worked hard on not to talk what we call proper. There were so many things that I tried to undo after my parents paid for me to have the best of education, you know. So I would speak different, but through time, I moved to certain areas. You know, I moved from Oklahoma to Alabama. When I moved to Alabama, there was this thing called a Southern accent. You understand? And because I came from Chicago, I was born in Chicago, I didn't have a Southern accent. And when I got here, people would say, oh, she talked different, or she thinks she's better, she's trying to talk proper, or she's trying to talk Caucasian, all of that. And that wasn't who I was trying to be or what I was trying to be. So to please these people, I stopped talking as much. I tried to pick up some of the, you know, the slang, however you say it, words that, you know, like I think here in the South, some people say strawberry instead of strawberry. And so I would say, y'all have some strawberries? And that felt weird to me. They would say, you want to go across the street? And that felt weird to me, but I started to try that. So here I am now wearing baggy clothes to please these people. I'm changing the way I speak to please these people. I was a tomboy at the time. I'm now trying to act all feminine to please these people. I was changing so much about who I was to change other people that down the line I started to forget who I was. And when I tell you it takes a lot of work to fake it, it takes a lot of work. I had to get up and find the right baggy clothes. I had to go to the store and rebuild my wardrobe. I had to practice to speak a way that wasn't common to me, to undo all the education that my parents provided me just to please people. There was so many things I was doing. I even began to wear weave. Now, there's nothing wrong with weave, but it's something wrong when you're doing it to please other people. Oh, yeah. I was doing so much to make other people happy. I was shrinking. I was playing small. And if that's what you're doing, I would advise you to not do that. Okay? So let's see here. So we stopped sharing our opinions. They hide their gifts. They lower their dreams. And it's not because of lack of ability, but because they learned that acceptance felt safer than authenticity. And guys, I messed that word up, but I got it right. And I always want to let everybody know that it's okay to make mistakes. Let me repeat that again. It's okay to make mistakes. So let's continue on. Yes, so a lot of times many people are not living small because they lack potential. They're living small because they are protecting themselves from rejection. Baby, rejection is something in it until you let it be nothing. Rejection gets its power from your thoughts. If you remove all of those negative thoughts, then you will give rejection no power. Rejection only exists if you allow it to. Because, baby, when somebody rejects you, let them walk away. Let them walk away. If they reject you for being yourself, they were never meant to be in your circle. Stop putting people in your circle that are weak. Because, baby, when you form a weak circle, it's just as good as having no circle at all. Because a weak circle is a circle that tears you down and stops you from being who you are. Okay? Put real people in your circle. You promise me you're going to do that? Yeah, stop doing that. So let's see. The mask we wear. A mask is not always something fake, by the way. Sometimes a mask is something we create just to survive. And I felt when I had that mask on that I was surviving. I felt I had to do that so that people wouldn't bully me. People wouldn't hit me. People wouldn't laugh at me. People would pick me. You understand? People would love me. People would just not harm me altogether. So I wore that mask so people wouldn't do those things to me. So sometimes it's about survival. So I'm not knocking you for the reason you did it, but I am encouraging you to let that go because you deserve to be authentically you. Because after all, look how amazing you are. You're so amazing. Let me take a drink of this water, guys, while I think about how amazing you are. And you know I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you. You are so amazing. That was so good, guys. And so refreshing. So let's see here. Sometimes masks are created for survival. A mask can look like always saying yes when you want to say no, pretending you are okay when you are hurting, acting confident when you feel insecure, helping everyone else while ignoring yourself. Have you ever did things for people when you know you didn't have time, when you know you didn't have the right amount of money to be doing it? Have you ever played yourself thin just so that someone else could have what they needed in life, and at the end of the day, once they are gone on by their way, you're sitting there suffering? Have you ever gave your last to someone and then suffered because of that, baby? Because you never put self first because people told you that was selfish? I need you to think about that. Is that you? The problem with wearing a mask too long is that eventually you forget what being real feels like. And that's sometimes you'll be sitting there, you're going like, something's off. I don't feel right. It's like I'm missing something. Like I don't know myself. That's because you've worn that mask so long that that mask is getting in the way of who you really are, and you can feel it. You can feel it. You just walk around life and go, something ain't right. I just don't feel like I'm being me. Intuition and instinct is something, honey. It's a gift. And when something about you doesn't feel right, You got to sit down and name that. You got to sit down and discover that, because you have to be you, because God has a purpose for you. And the only way you can live that purpose is if you understand who you are. You can't live in purpose if you're pretending to be like your friend, if you're pretending to be who your boss wants you to be, if you're pretending. And baby, it's hard pretending. I keep saying that it is some hard work pretending to be someone you're not. I once was around this person who pretended to talk proper, as we call it, because they were around me. They were so southern, and when they pretended to talk proper, you should have heard that. And I know it was making them tired, because to have to wake up every day you're around me and pretend to be someone you're not. And guess what they don't realize? That I was accepting them for the beauty of their accent, the beauty of their countryness, whatever you want to call it. I loved everything about it, because there's country inside of me. You know, when I talk country, I mean, sometimes I'll say ain't. There's some country inside of me, because I'm from the South. I'm northern and I'm southern. You know, Beyonce says her somebody is Bama, her Texas, you know, in her song, but she says that she's both Bama and she's from Texas. And there's nothing wrong with showing up authentically as yourself. You can sound this way and be that way. It's okay to have something different about you. So yeah, I want the people around me to be themselves, because I love the beauty in being different. Show up as you. I want to get to know who you are. And I'm glad you're here on this live today. Expressing yourself, showing up as you, learning how to find you if you're lost. I love the fact that you're here, because everybody is not showing up on these type of lives that helps them to heal, that helps them to grow, that helps them to become, that helps them to forgive. Everybody's not doing that. A lot of people want to go sit at lives where they pit men against women. You know, I've seen them. Do you think that a man who's broke should have the right to date? Do you think that a woman who's broken should have the right to be in a relationship? Really, people? Are we really out doing that to one another instead of focusing on healing? How does that help us heal? How does me bashing a man help me heal? How does me bashing a woman help me heal? It doesn't. If anything, it teaches us to completely continue to tear ourselves down mentally. Because when we move negative, when we think negative, when we respond negative, that plays a lot on your psyche, on your mind, on your heart, on your spirituality, baby. That is not where you want to be in life. Let all of them negative podcasts and lives, and let all that go. Let all that go and start trying to heal people. Instead of saying, should they, how about you ask, how can you help them with their finance? How can you help them to heal? It's not a joke when you're broken. It's not a joke when someone's broke. If you can't heal them, then leave them alone. If you can't help them, then leave them alone. Don't nobody need to click in and hear all that negative mumbo jumbo. And that's what this life is about. It's time that we love one another. It's time that we love ourselves. And that's something that's crazy, because why should we even have to discuss loving ourselves or loving someone? That's free. Love should be easy to get to. But because of society and because of how we're taught to hide who we are, how we're taught to not love ourselves, how we're not taught to provide for ourselves, we become unauthentically someone else. But baby, you're beautiful. Let's keep going. See, the mask that protected you in one season may become the prison that limits you in another season. You understand that? You might have used it to protect yourself, but is it still needed? Do you still need it now? Or do you need to take the mask off so that you can become someone and something that aligns with your heart, aligns with your spirit? Who are you, baby? Who do you want to be? What were you told you couldn't do? Who were you told you couldn't be? What job did they say you couldn't handle because of who you are when they never even knew who you were? Today is the day that you stop being something that you're not meant to be, and that you take off the mask to show that beautiful heart of yours. I can't wait to see the authentic you if you're not there. And I know you can't wait to meet the person you were meant to be. So yes, we got to keep doing the work, and that's what this live is about. By the way, guys, check out my podcast, Win Win with Gwen, here on YouTube, because I'm talking about the same subject there in a different way, and you can literally take notes and you can watch it over and over and over again until you get the lessons that you need to take that mask off, baby, because you're beautiful and you don't deserve to wear a mask. Okay, so yeah, check out the Win Win with Gwen podcast, and don't forget to get your book, Get Beat to Get Better. And if you need help discovering who you are, I myself, Coach Gwendolyn, is a transformational coach, a life coach, and I can help you do that. If that's something you're ready to do, then you just email me at mindsabovematters@gmail.com, and that's MINDS above ABOVE matters MATTERS @gmail.com. And somebody please put that in the notes here, the remarks here, the comments here, and let somebody know what I just said if you understand and know my email address. Or you can go to, I think I may have my business number on Minds Above Matters on Facebook. Or you can type in Coach Gwen. There's a business phone number there as well if you want to call and get in contact with me. So that's not a problem. So yes, next time I'll have my phone number available. This is crazy, isn't it crazy? I don't have it right here in front of me. And I got to get better. I'm growing, I've got it everywhere except for my mind. Duh. And I just realized that. See how we all have room to grow? That's what I'm talking about. Growth is everything. So let's see here. People pleasing and seeking approval. Let's talk about that. People pleasing often comes from deep desire to feel loved and accepted. The person may think, if everyone is happy with me, then I am safe. But the problem is you cannot control everyone's opinion. You can't please all the people all the time. People still going to have something to say about you. So if they're going to say something about you, darn if you do, darn if you don't, how about you just be you? And then you don't have to do all the hard work pretending to be somebody else. And then you can see who really likes you and let the other ones kick rocks. You understand? The ones who don't like who you are, let them go. Stop trying to please people that don't even want to be pleased because they want to be pleased by somebody that you're not. Be you. And I promise you, it's going to be easier and you're going to be happier because you're beautiful. You deserve to shine. You deserve to show up as who you are. You shouldn't show up as someone else. Someone else already exists. I don't want to see you and them. I want to see you and you because you're beautiful. You're smart. You're intelligent. You're kind. You're helpful. You're so many things. Please show up as you so I can see that. Hey, Debbie. Debbie says, good night, Debbie. You have a sweet night. Good night to you, Debbie. I love when you tell me that you're here. I'm glad to see you here. And guys, don't forget to hit that thumb. So let's keep going. So you can spend your entire life trying to be accepted by people who were never assigned to understand your purpose. See, there are people who are assigned to your purpose. There are people who understand your purpose, but they can't understand your purpose if you don't go and look for your purpose because you're trying to be a duplicate of somebody else that's living in their purpose. Approval is temporary, but baby, identity is permanent. So somebody may approve who you are today and not approve you tomorrow, baby, but who you say you are and who you're supposed to be, that's going to be. You understand? Be you. Why pretending is exhausting? Pretending takes energy. Thinking about how much effort it takes to maintain an image. You have to remember what you told people because they're lies. You know how hard it is to keep up with lies? Oh, baby, it's hard. You might as well go ahead and be who you are because, baby, lies take work. You might as well do the work it takes to be who you are. Because doing the work it takes to be who you're not is just as hard, but it doesn't feel good. So do that work so you can feel good about who you are. Do the work, baby. I love you, Debbie. I love you, Debbie. So let's see. You have to hide your struggles. And honey, when you're going through something, sometimes the best way to get through something is to speak about it. So if you hide in your struggle, you may be stuck in that struggle because you're pretending. You can't name it. You can't talk about it. You can't get advice. You can't get help because you're faking it. Now, I ain't telling you to tell your struggles to everybody, but if you stop faking to be someone else, then the people who are authentically, the people who's supposed to be in your life, who's supposed to share your purpose, who's supposed to share your space, who's supposed to be in your circle, those people will help you through what you're going through. Show up as you. Let people know, the right people, okay? And see, won't they help you? See, won't you not have to pretend to be the strong one all the time? Take that mask off, baby. Because behind that mask is someone amazing. Now, you ain't perfect, and neither am I. But we sure are amazing. So, yes, you have to keep proving yourself. Authenticity is fearing because you no longer have to perform. It's freeing, I'm sorry. It's freeing because you no longer have to perform. So free yourself. How that song say? Free yourself and the rest will follow. See, I told you I'll sing even though I don't sound good. Baby, I don't care about what nobody think about me when it comes to being me, feeling good about who I am. I'm going to sing off key. I'm going to dance off beat. You understand? I'm going to do me. And if you can't accept that, that's on you. Because I'm going to keep being authentically me every single day. I'm learning more and more and more about who I am. What makes me happy. What my purpose is in this world. I used to think my purpose was being a dental assistant at one time. And every time I did people's teeth, I was inspiring them. I used to think my purpose was being a insurance agent for State Farm. And the more and more I sat behind that desk, the more and more I inspired, encouraged, motivated, and educated people. Everywhere I went, I was doing this. And then my mama said, baby girl, let me tell you something. I see you. She saw me before I could. And ever since I've been stepping into that purpose, I feel good. I feel good all over. That's my Stephanie Mills, guys. And I know it don't sound like Stephanie, but baby, I feel good. I feel good all over. Stepping into your purpose, you will feel good all over. I feel good, guys. And I want you to feel the same type of authentic love. The same type of appreciation. I want you to see yourself and understand that ain't nobody like you. So stop being like someone else. Okay? Because ain't nobody like them. So you're wasting your time trying to be like them. Be happy. Be loved. Be yourself. See, authenticity is not protection. A lot of people avoid being authentic because they think, what if people see my flaws? And what if they do? They have flaws too. So how about we see each other's imperfections and we get on with our lives? I've never met a perfect person yet. Even a person who appears to be perfect on the outside, when they open their mouth though, they need work. When they open that mouth though, it sounds different and beautiful. You understand what I'm saying? We all have our flaws. Look, a beautiful flaw. Some people love my teeth having the diastema or the gap or whatever you call it. Some people don't. But at the end of the day, that's who I am. That's my appearance. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I try to talk like this right here when I talk to y'all. Hey, y'all, how y'all doing? Welcome to Live. I'm called Gwen. I'm pleasing y'all, son of Mr. Pleasing y'all. I look like this because I don't want nobody to talk about my gap. I'd rather hide my gap and look like this. I'd rather accept myself and smile like this. You understand what I'm saying? Stop hiding who you are. Stop hiding and judging yourself based on someone else's view of you. Be you, baby. Debbie's laughing. Debbie, you think that's funny when I hide my gap and talk like that? And that's how some of us look when we're trying to put on these masks. We rather look like this and not show people our flaws. And at the end of the day, the flaw that we hide will be the beautiful flaw that we have. There's nothing wrong with this. There's nothing wrong. Be yourself, baby. Because sometimes that mask don't look no better than who you really are. A lot of times that mask doesn't compare to your beauty. Matter of fact, the mask never compares to your beauty. What am I thinking? Y'all, get rid of that fakeness. And love you for who you are. Because I told y'all God don't make mistakes. And guess who made you? Your mistakes do not erase your value. So let's talk about what authenticity means. It means I know who I am. I know I am still growing, and I refuse to hide my humanity. Your mistakes do not erase your value. Your past does not cancel your purpose. Your scars can become evidence of your strength. When I got this real life scar, because I had scars on the inside of me too, okay? But we're talking back about this. I use this scar a lot, and I want y'all to see this scar. You know, a lot of people say, oh, Coach Gwen, you're so beautiful. You're so beautiful. How many people have a big scar across their face and still believe they're beautiful? Because my beauty starts with my thoughts, my beliefs. I could focus on this and I could hold my head in shame. I could not show up here to give you what God wanted me to give you because of this. But honey, when this happened to me, a lesson was taught. When this happened to me, wisdom seeped into the cracks of who I am. You understand that? There's a lesson behind every scar that you have. This scar here brings me here with you today to show you that beauty still exists in the midst of imperfections. You may be walking around going, oh, my eyes are too big. Baby, you're still beautiful. If you look close enough at Coach Gwendolyn, you'll notice that one of my eyes is a little weaker than the other one. It is. If you look at me, I have a crooked tooth. Hi, I'm just trying to get you to see that when you believe in who you are, when you love you for who you are, none of that matters. You're going to show up as beautiful because it comes from within. It reminds me of a song by Lauryn Hill. Here I go messing up some lyrics again. How you gonna something when you can't within? I don't know the lyrics, but y'all know the lyrics, but it meant something when I heard it, but when I say it, I mess it up. If somebody remember the lyrics of Lauryn Hill song, type them right there in the comments so I can see them. But she says something within. Anyway, you got to love you from the inside out, because if you keep focusing on the outside, you'll never see the inside of who you are, baby. And that's where the real talent, the real beauty, the real you resides, the authentic you inside. And you feel that and you know who that is. And you've got to bring that person out to the surface. Because this meat suit we wear, and I'm calling it a meat suit, it is nothing of who we are, baby. Our soul, our spirit, our hearts. Get to the real, baby. Get to that. So authenticity means that you know who you are. Your mistakes do not erase your value. Your past do not cancel your purpose. Your scars can become evidence of your strength. Authenticity is not showing people that you have no wounds. It's having the courage to heal them openly. Do you have the courage to heal openly? Because that's what we're doing right here. We're healing openly. You don't hear me pretending that my life is without error. I'm going to share that with you. In this part of my life, I'm still going through things. I'm still going through things. I don't just talk about my past, honey, where I've healed. I'm currently going through some things now that I'm healing. Lauryn Hill. Yeah, I know her name, but what's the lyrics? How are you going to heal something when you can't within? Something, I don't know. But if you know it, let me know. If you don't, it's cool. We good. We don't have to know it all. It's all right, baby. So, yeah. Oh, how are you going to win when you ain't right within? That's what I was. Thank you so much here, Latia. Thank you so much. How you going to heal? And how you going to win when you're not right within? You got to do that mind work, baby. You got to go in there and unfix that fixed mindset. Because you can't have a fixed mindset and heal. You understand? You got to be open to change. You got to be open to seeing who you really are, who you deserve to be, and who you want to be. You got to open that mind, baby. You have to have a growth mindset, as we call it. If you don't know what that is, look that up, a growth mindset. Because a lot of people don't realize that our minds are set. People have set our minds to be what they want it to be. And you can't be authentic unless you're being yourself. Not what somebody told you to be, not who someone told you were. You've got to unfix that mind. Because some of the stuff that you know does not align with who you are today or who you want to become in the future, you've got to do the work that it takes to let some of those old beliefs out. I remember my mama, when we would walk down the street and we would go past a pole, she would say, don't split that pole. Go back around that pole. And she would slap you if you didn't move fast enough. I remember seeing a black cat and my mom would say, turn around so many times. I'm like, what? I'm dizzy. I'm about to fall out. That's bad luck when I hit this ground from spinning so fast. My mama had a fixed mindset. She held on to a lot of those beliefs. I'm not saying all her beliefs were not real, but I just don't think that those were real. So I tested them. And I didn't see where any of the things happened that she said was going to happen. So I let those things go. They didn't serve me. They didn't align with who I was. And I didn't feel right instinctively. My intuition told me that going around that pole that many times looked weird, felt weird, and wasn't helping me at all. So yeah, you gotta challenge your beliefs. You gotta challenge those beliefs when it comes to being who you are supposed to be. You can't be who you're supposed to be if you're holding on things that don't align with who you are and who you want to be. You gotta let some of that stuff go. Somebody tells you that you can't get a job because of your race. Are you gonna not apply for that job? Or are you going to go put on a fake suit, a fake face, and go in and get the job and then have to pretend every day and put on this cream makeup and straighten your hair? And we've done it for years. I've seen it. I just told you earlier that I did it. Baby, be yourself. That takes work. And it doesn't feel good in your heart. It doesn't. And you get lost inside of that. So let's talk about self-worth, guys. Self-worth is understanding that your value is not based on your accomplishments, your appearance, your income, or other people's opinions. Your worth existed before anyone ever applauded for you, okay? You don't need people to clap for you to be successful, baby. You're successful without the claps. And if you need somebody to clap for you, watch this. God gave you 2 hands to clap for yourself, and if you don't have hands, guess what? You can hooty-hoo for yourself, baby. You can holler, woo, me, yay, me, go me. You ever been in graduation and somebody holler your name out, we love you, such and such. Baby, you can do that for yourself. You can do that for yourself. Learn how to make you feel proud. The same way you holler, hoop, and holler and clap for other people, start doing it for yourself, baby. You ain't got to do it in front of everybody. Go off to a room by yourself and say, yay, me, you did that today, me. You did that, girl. You showed up. Dude, you're awesome. You know, tell yourself that. You ain't got to do it in front of other people if you're embarrassed. But me, myself, I ain't afraid. When I do something good, I go, ooh, y'all, I did that. I did that, y'all. Woo, good job, Gwen. I ain't afraid to give it to me. Stop being afraid to give yourself what you need. Stop being afraid to celebrate you. I celebrate me. Celebrate you. Celebrate you. So yeah, your worth existed before anyone applauded you. Your worth existed before anyone recognized you. Your value is not something you earn. It's something that you recognize. Recognize you, honey. And let's talk about healing from rejection. We're going to talk about a couple more things, and then I'm going to end this live. But I'm telling y'all, it's been amazing being here with you guys tonight. I appreciate y'all so much every night that you all show up. Because when you show up, you show out for you. I'm so glad you're showing up and showing out for you. Keep doing that. That is beautiful and amazing. Rejection hurts because humans are wired for connection. But rejection is not always a reflection of your worth. Sometimes rejection means this, baby. Let me tell you what it means. Sometimes rejection means these persons cannot receive what you carry. Sometimes rejection redirections you towards something healthier. Healing begins when you stop asking, what is wrong with me? That's healing. When you finally hear yourself, stop asking or feel yourself or notice yourself, stop asking what's wrong with you. That's healing. When somebody breaks up with you and you don't say, what could I have done different? Now, there's nothing wrong with asking that if you're going to use that information to grow. But if you're going to use that information to tear yourself down and blame yourself and, go into this negative depression slump, that's not what you need to be doing. There's a reason you ask questions, and there's a reason you shouldn't be asking questions, okay? So, yes, and you also start asking, what is this teaching me? Okay? Rejection can wound your confidence, but it doesn't have the authority to define you. Okay? Don't let it define who you are. Become who God created you to be. Let's talk about that, because I've said that so many times, that God created you. He don't make mistakes. You were created to be different. You were created to find your purpose and not direct yourself towards somebody else's purpose, trying to duplicate them or, copy them. Be you. I'm Coach Gwendolyn. You're you. You don't have to come and try and speak like me, dress like me, act like me. I might influence you. That's different. But trying to become me and putting a mask on every day, that's something different. You be you. You got your own gifts. You ain't got to wear your hair like mine, your makeup like mine, your clothes like mine, speak like me, walk like me, go and get surgery to be built like me. Baby, be you. You're beautiful. You're amazing. You don't gotta go get the same degree I have. You don't have to go do all that, baby. Be you. I have a finance degree. You may be a nurse. You may not even have a degree, and that's fine too. Be you. God created people with unique gifts, personalities, and experiences. Comparisons causes us to overlook our assignment. A flower does not compete with another flower. It simply blooms. Baby, bloom. Baby, bloom. Baby, bloom. Baby, be you. Your purpose is not found by copying someone else. Your purpose is found by becoming more fully yourself. Be you. I can't say that enough tonight. Be you, baby. You were not created to be a replacement. You were created to be a representative of God. God has placed everything you need inside of you to be you. Explore who you are. And with that being said, we're going to end this live, guys. And I do want to thank you and let you know that I am so grateful for you being here tonight. I get so much from you all being here, and I only hope and pray that I can give you half of that back, if not more. I pour into you because you pour into me. I pour into you because God has assigned me to do so. I'm going to get stronger at what I do. I'm going to get better at what I do. But guess what? I've decided to show up today as I am. Because the only way to become what God wants you to be is to start where you are. And that means start at your weakest point. But get started. You don't have to have it all together, baby. And I'm telling you that whoever you are or whatever you want to be, meet yourself where you are. Be kind to yourself. Talk kind to yourself. Be patient with yourself. Because what God wants you to be is going to be so amazing that the mistakes that you make are going to be what strengthens you and grows you. Be okay with making mistakes, but never be okay with quitting. Never quit on you. I love you guys. Have a good night, and I'll see you next Sunday at 7:30. I love you guys. Keep doing the work. Good night.